get into a little bit of Team USA because heading into the Summer Olympics, Kyle Kuzma, he went on social media with some thoughts here. This is what he said. He said, quote, USA basketball better get some NBA stars that know how to play a role. Okay. Anybody can be nice with the ball in their hands, but can you be cool with defending and going to the corner for a few possessions? And then Devin Booker, this caught his attention. He responded with 3 simple words. He said, hey, I'll do it. So, Brian, you were with Team USA during this World Cup. Do you think there was a lack of role players, as Kyle Kuzma is saying? Is that the reason that they came up short here?
Not in my opinion. I felt that there was great camaraderie, great sharing of roles. They just were not built in a way that made them effective for the FIBA game. And maybe I don't want to assume I knew what Kyle Kuzma was talking about. Maybe he means about next year. But I'll also say Devin Booker played a very effective and important role for the team that won in Tokyo in 2021. And for that reason, Booker will be on the team if he wants to be. He's got a golden ticket to come back to the team. I will just say that this team did not lose because that somebody was selfish or somebody didn't want to play a certain way. They had a great character. This team was not flawed in character. It was flawed in construction. And even the construction wasn't stupid. It just was a gamble that ended up failing. And I'll just point something out. I know that there's no participation trophies for Team USA. I get that. They lost 1 game by 2 points. They lost 1 game in overtime, and they lost 1 game by 6. Their style failed, but it wasn't like it was a disaster. They need to get better and turn some knobs and do some things. But let's just have a better appreciation of how hard this actually is.
Absolutely. I think some people, right, would point to the amount of points that they gave up and where that ranked in terms of all-time history of Team USA's. And fair, I understand what you're saying, like some appreciation for what was done here. It's interesting, though, you mentioned it, Devin Booker was a part of Team USA in Japan. They took home the gold. There were some questions as to, should some other guys have been out there, Perk, for this World Cup? But I'm just going to put all of that over here and say, for Team USA in Paris, your ideal starting 5 would be who?
Well, first of all, we don't lose, okay? So that means we have to make sure that we have the best representation as possible. And if you had to ask me who's my starting 5,
yes,
who's going to be on that private head in the Paris, I'm going with Steph Curry, okay, at number 1. I'm going with LeBron James. Yes, I know he's old at number 2. I'm going with Kevin Durant, number 3, arguably the greatest scorer to ever touch the damn basketball. At number 4, I'm going with Jason Tatum, a guy that averaged 30. I got so much size at the perimeter with a shooting ability and Steph. And to anchor my defense, give me Anthony Davis. That 5 right there, that's my starting lineup. That's my starting lineup to represent our country.
All right, so
in great fashion.
Steph, LeBron, KD, Tatum, and Anthony Davis. Any notes there, Brian?
Yeah.
I know it's Perk's list, but just had to check.
And yeah, no, it's a great list, Perk. I would love if that team could be healthy enough to play next year. Anthony Davis arguably is the most important part of that picture there, because the United States needs size. Obviously, KD and Tatum would be incredible to have out there. LeBron has won multiple medals. The one thing I'll just say before we move on from this year's team, because Malika, you mentioned about who wasn't there. You know, Josh Hart had 3-month-old twin boys that he brought with him, with his wife, took care of them while this was happening. Jalen Brunson moved his wedding by 2 months. Can you imagine this? You come to your fiance and say, hey, I just got invited to Team USA. We need to move our wedding from the first week of September to the second week of July, and that's like in 3 or 4 weeks. These guys who were there bent over backwards to make it happen. And I know that there were some guys who had really bona fide reasons why they couldn't come. And Josh Hart and Jason Brunson had those reasons, and they still went. And I don't want to give them excuses. But you know what, Perk? We do lose. We do lose now. We've lost 6 times in the last 3 tournaments. We do lose now.
Well, that's a problem. And one, listen, marriage is a beautiful thing, okay? Having children is a beautiful thing. Yes. But, Wendy, right now you're making more excuses for them than a man going to jail. And I don't want to hear it. We don't lose.
That's what that face was? That was the we don't lose face, Perk?
We do lose.
History would say, historically,
we're not supposed to lose.
I would ask, though, Brian, you said Anthony Davis could be the biggest piece of that Rubik's Cube, be the biggest piece of that puzzle. not Joel Embiid?
Well, I don't want to make an assumption that Joel Embiid, who he's going to play for. So he has the ability to play for France or play for Team USA.
Yep.
The French don't need centers. The French need perimeter players. The Americans badly need big men. Now, I'm going to just point out that the last several seasons, Joel Embiid has been nursing an injury at the end of them. And to assume that he's going to be healthy enough, that's a big assumption. But yes, Joel Embiid would be amazing to get for Team USA.
Yeah.
And frankly, one of the things I've advocated is for teams overseas to embrace their African players that they have in their country, like China could really benefit from that. Whatever it takes to get a center who can compete with those European big men, with Nikola Jokic and those big German guys, got to have it. If you care about Team USA winning the gold, you should embrace our naturalized citizen, Joel Embiid, and ask him to come play for Team USA next summer in Paris.
Brian, I mentioned that you were in Manila. You spent a whole lot of time around Team USA. You were at the South Sudan game, which I still think was one of the best stories of the summer. I am not sure, and I'm curious if you did, if you had on your bingo card going in this enormous debate that was going to blow up over who owns the title of who is the world champion. And of course, as with all things, after Giannis weighed in, we heard Dennis Schroeder weigh in, all of these NBA players hopping on social media, getting their jokes off. Of course, our very own Richard Jefferson, he had some thoughts.
Really quickly, just to clarify all of this NBA world champ. Listen, the Denver Nuggets, they're the best team in the world. Germany, they're the world champions. Now look, for all the people that are new to the NBA world, all it is about arguments. So welcome to this world.
Perk.
Did you see how he tried to have that background to like cover up all the shining on his bald spot? That's number one. Two, we don't want to see Richard right now. Can we wait? Like,
Wasn't yesterday National Bald is Beautiful Day?
Yeah, I mean, who came up with that day? Did he do it? Like, we have a National Everything Day. So here's the thing. When I look at world champions, okay, I think about the NBA and one word comes to mind: global. The NBA is a global brand, meaning we have players from all around the world that's in the NBA. 4 of them right now are international players that are in my top 7 of best players in the world. So with that being said, anyone who wins the NBA title means that you're going against top competition from around the world. You are a world champion, period. There's no other way around it.
But the NBA is kind of the only league that does it like this, Brian. What do you think?
So, yes, absolutely. It's definitely an argument. Everybody over there was talking about it. Steve Kerr, who's won world championships and also been a world champion, was asked which is more legit. And Steve Kerr gave a very diplomatic answer when he said both. Here's the thing. FIBA basketball is completely different than NBA basketball. It's the same sport played in a different language. When we go over and play that style of basketball, we are not playing our style. We are playing their style in Europe. You know, if you think it's that simple, I'm telling you, it is not. It is very different. They look at the world differently. When Tyrese Halliburton goes between his legs and throws an alley-oop to Paolo Banchero, the highlight of the week here in the U.S., they thought it was an affront. They were offended by it. There was almost a fight on the court. And I'm like, you know, NBA players try to entertain the fans.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges hits a three-pointer, shows the three to the opposing bench, technical foul. We love that in the NBA. We want a team. We like too small. We like that. Over there, that's considered an offense. FIBA basketball is better in sort of the pure form of the game. NBA basketball is played at a higher level of athleticism and, in my opinion, is significantly more entertaining. But comparing the two of them like they're on the same level is not true. And it's not just that one is better than the other. They are different. So you can be the champion of the world champion, and you can be the World Cup champion, and those can be two different things, even though they've got the same word in it. And I know our world isn't built to handle nuance, but that's just the way that it is.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I actually didn't even mind Richard's definition. I know, Perk, don't hate me for saying that. But then, all the people in the comments, they're going to want me to ask you, Perk, all right, so if it's FIBA, let's say it's FIBA style then. If it's the Nuggets taking on Germany, who you got?
I got the Nuggets.
One game.
I got the Denver Nuggets.
All right, Brian.
Any look, whoever has Nikola Jokic, until they knock him off, I'm rolling with them.
Okay.
Malika, are we playing this in Manila or are we playing this in Denver? Because if we're playing it in Manila, there are situations in which I could see Germany winning. And it's with Jokic with 3 fouls in the first quarter and Aaron Gordon touching somebody on the perimeter and being sent to the bench. So, it seems like an easy answer. I'm telling you, it's not. If they played in the United States, if they played at the Ball Arena, the Nuggets would run them out of the gym in 15 seconds. If they played them in the Mall of Asia Arena, I'm telling you, it would be a lot different story.
And these are fighting words, Brian Windhorst.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.